Kohala Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rekahak Radash. Double honors to the elder apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, for teaching the word in truth and sincerity. Salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad, to USA Shalom. This is Genesis 6, verses 11 and 12. The earth was also corrupted before power, and the earth was filled with violence. And power looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. This is Job 13 and 4. But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. Second Esdras 15 and 6. For the wicked had exceedingly polluted the earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. When you look at Esau, Edom, these people have an unquenchable desire for violence with a weird sexual undertone to everything they produce. They consider this to be entertaining. They consider this to be righteous. They consider their way to be on the up and up. They consider their way to be the way that we should move, that people, that everybody on the earth should abide in. They have the whole world hypnotized and believing and acting in their ways. Esau, Edom has a sick, perverse moral structure, and they perceive all these things to be normal. When you look at just how they move on the planet, the things that they produce, everything is upside down and backwards. Especially with the girly curl, big nose, small hat. Everything they do is upside down and backwards, like Bizarro World. The normal low-level Edomite, the things that they produce is just wicked. And they all perceive that these things are of righteousness, that these things are right, that these things are the you know what I'm saying, the things that they produce are the things that we should be abiding in and take part in. Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He conceived, he covered up the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? The wicked, that's Esau, Edom. And the head of Esau, Edom is Amalek. The girly curl, big nose, small hat. If anybody try to come up against the things that they do, they make policies, they make procedures that will pretty much shut that person down or shut that person up. And if that doesn't work, then they'll use violence to take them off of here, take them out, you know what I'm saying, put them in the dirt. Psalms 7 and 14. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity, and have conceived mischief and brought forth falsehood. That's all these people do. They are the mischievous people of the planet. They haven't produced anything that's of any good, especially as we move forward in time, going into their technocracy age. they've destroyed pretty much everything on the planet, and they'll try to cover everything up by trying to displace or get rid of information, all the things that they've done previously, especially what you would call especially when you talk about slavery. That's what they're doing now is trying to wipe that stuff out, telling you to get over it. It wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? You should look, you know what I'm saying? You should look forward and not in the past. So these people, they all they do is bring forth falsehood through their mischief. Hebrews 12 and 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. So if you look at the wicked elites, they're trying to get their birthright back by corrupting the children, the true children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, by having us in such a profane state of being. The things we eat, the things we take part in, misinterpretations of the Bible, erasing the names, erasing the name of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and replacing it with a pagan. So you see how these people are the wicked. They are the devil that the Bible speak of. It's all in their depictions, and and in their deceptions, deceptiveness. They have a deceptive way in their writing, in their literature and everything. The things they show you, the things that they deem to be entertaining, you know, from their lures to their fantasies to their horror. They created pornography, in their entertainment. They have a thing called drama, thrillers, but it's all perverse. None of it is of righteousness, man. But these are the things that keep you dumbed down. So if you engage in these things for so long, it's kind of hard for you to wing yourself off these things. You continue to be of this, of this world, make you real worldly. Especially a lot of the crap that they put on TV now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things they show you on TV and in the movies is just bullshit. It's crap. It's garbage. But the funny thing about these people is that they'll let you know little things in their movies and in their TV shows. They'll let you know little things if you can see through it. If you can see through the folly of most of the things that they produce, they'll show you little things. But like I said, they are the wicked. They are the devil that the Bible speaks of. The devil meaning deceiver. These people will deceive you from all angles. They will try to deceive you. This group of people have the spirit of Satan on them. The spirit of Satan is all entwined in their moral compass. They have to be taken off of here. They have to be, they have to be taken out. These people have convinced the world that they are the standard of wholesomeness and things that are good, things that are godly. But they are the exact opposite. They are the total opposite. Proverbs 25, Salakia, Proverbs 26, verses 25 and 26. When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart, whose hatred is covered by deceit. His wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation. And that's what you're witnessing now. You're you're seeing the deception of these people. You're seeing the wickedness of these people, and it's coming down onto everybody else that deal with them. But it's gonna come upon them 7 times as harder. Their abomination, their wickedness is just is real upon the earth, and all they do is try to deceive you by giving you nonsense to look at, nonsense in your media, controlled media, controlled opposition. They control all these things that you partake in, and they'll give you what they want you to see, while in the background they're creating policies and laws to come against you. That was just like with 9/11. That whole thing was to create policies and different laws to take away your quote unquote freedoms. Obadiah 1:10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And they know who the true people of the Bible are. They know who the true Israelites are. But their whole thing is to wipe us out, man. To keep us from achieving salvation. You got some you got a lot of low level Edomites that they honestly think that they are the they have a stake in it, that they the people in some weird fashion. But the wicked elites, they know who we are. They know who the true people of the Bible are. And their whole thing is to try to get their birthright back by having us go so far off the reservation that the Most High will look at us and condemn us. But it's already been written that you're done. Esau, Edom, with the head being Amalek, you're done. You're not going to get your birthright back. You cannot get your birthright back. So the only thing they could do is possibly try to do. The only thing they could possibly try to do is destroy us. Mentally, physically, spiritually. This is Proverbs 2:14, verses 14 and 15. Who rejoice to do evil and delight in the frowardness of the wicked, whose ways are crooked, and they have froward in their paths. That's these people. They commit the most heinous crimes on the planet. They create the most genocide on the planet. They create the most famine on the planet. Everything that's wrong with the world, you can actually blame that shit on an Edomite. And I'm not saying your low-level Edomite that get up and go to work, poor Edomite that get up and go to work like everybody else, but they just as wicked because they do it on a low level. You know, they talk wicked about Jake, whether it's at home or at work. But what I'm talking about is those wicked elites that control your media, your financial sectors, your tech sectors. These are the people that I'm talking about. Your billionaires, your trillionaires, even some of your millionaires. These are the people I'm talking about. These are the people that push forth policies and laws and things of that nature. Isaiah 29, verse 15 and 16. Woe unto them that speak deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us? We see you, and we know you. Now you got a lot of Jake that still sucking, you know what I'm saying, still holding on to these, you know what I'm saying, to a wicked Edomite. You know, they got these people have what you call Stockholm syndrome. They fell in love with their oppressor. So they have this thing about them where they want to help them achieve salvation. They want to help them in such a manner where they bring them, you know what I'm saying, they bring them up with them, or, you know, bring them into the fold. It's written that that's not written. That's not scriptural. But these people hold fast to their oppressor. Verse 16, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? That's Esau, Edom in a nutshell. They put themselves on a pedestal where they want to appear as power. They want to appear as Yahweh. They want to appear as God. They want to appear as Lord. They want to appear as Yahweh Shai. They want to appear as they are the key to salvation, the key to righteousness, the key to having riches and the best things on the planet. You will abide and try to be like, or assimilate with them, assimilate to them in their ways, and you can have all the things that they have. They want to put themselves as the Most High. This is Job 20, verse 15. He hath swallowed down riches and shall vomit them up again. Power shall cast them out of his belly. The Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to make this man feel it. They're going to make these people feel it. For all the wickedness that they have done on this planet, all the things that they've stolen from people on this planet, they're going to be stripped of that. On that day when Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai returns, the people are done. They're through. And they're going into hardcore captivity. Proverbs 2, verses 14 and 15 in the NLT. They take pleasure in doing wrong, and they enjoy the twisted ways of evil. Their actions are crooked, and their ways are wrong. That's these people. That's how these people move. They take pleasure in doing wickedness. They take pleasure in doing wrong. And they'll have nothing but delight to see you follow down that same path of wickedness. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is the most vile, vicious, unscrupulous animal to ever walk this planet. They kill for sport. They film and promote the most heinous sexual acts and will sell you the footage, man. Their whole thing is to corrupt you just as much as they're corrupted. From the killing of trees, these people actually kill trees the thing that you need the most to breathe, to have sustainable oxygen on this planet, they destroy them. They destroy the wildlife. They destroy the habitation of the wildlife. Their whole desire is to get rid of the 12 tribes. These people are the wicked. They are the devil. They have gone so far to even have polluted the air, the water. They polluted the ground. They stripped the ground of its oil. They stripped the ground of its natural nutrients. They don't abide in the 7 year Sabbath where you let the ground replenish itself. They strip everything from this planet. There's even a thing called space junk. These motherfuckers have even polluted what you would call outer space. How wicked can you be? No, like it says back in Hebrews 12 and 16, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau. There's nobody on this planet that's as profane in what they do as Esau. Jeremiah 9 and 8. Their tongue is as an arrow shot out. Speak of deceit, one speaketh peaceably to his neighbor with his mouth, but in heart they lay up his weight. You see it. A quick example is just how they act on a job. You might have some, you might be cool with some, but then there's Edomites that will sit there and talk nice with you, but then walk right in there to the to the boss's office and talk shit about you. Try to get you fired, Try to take away your livelihood. Zechariah 9 and 6. And a bastard shall dwell in Asdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. That bastard that live in Asdod, that's Amalek. Those are the people that fraudulently dwell in that land. Psalms 73, and I'm going to read 5 through 9. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain. Violence covereth them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully. They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. That is Amalek, the imposter, the girly curl, big nose, short hat, or little hat. These people are imposters in the land. They acquired the land through fraudulent practices. They set up shell companies and purchased the land. They purchased over 90,000 acres. If you go back, you could look it up. If you go back and look up Baron Edmund D. Rothschild, you'll see how he set up different shell companies in order to purchase that land. He did that with the help of he did that with the help of the British through the British Mandate um from the Surkoff family. They they conspired together and bought that land of Palestine, over 90,000 acres. That's that's the land that they purchased, and they call themselves going back to their homeland. It's all a farce. It's all a lie, and these are not the people that are to inherit the land. Numbers 24 and 20, and I'm gonna read it in the KJV and in the NLT. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. In the NLT, Numbers 24 and 20, then Balaam looked over towards the people of Amalek and delivered this message. Amalek was the greatest of the nations, but his destiny is destruction. See, these people bought that land to claiming to be the children of the Bible. They claiming that they're Jacob. But the funny thing about that is, in Isaiah, throughout the whole book, but in Isaiah, the Valley of Dry Bones, Ezekiel 37. Salakia, it was Ezekiel 37 where he speaks of the Valley of Dry Bones, and planting the sticks for each nation, the 12 tribes of Israel. They claim to be Jacob, but all this time that they've had that land since 1948, when they actually acquired it, they never identified who the other tribes were. They only speak of them being as Jacob. So what happened to the other 11 tribes? They don't identify with them. They don't know who these people are, quote unquote. But they are Jacob. So listen, man, these people are fraudulent, man. Everything they do is backwards and upside down, and just like it's bizarre. It's like they live in a bizarro world. If you just look at how they move, they have a 9-candle menorah when, you know what I'm saying, the Bible only speaks of 7 candles. They have some, I forgot what it, you can look it up. I forgot what the 2 extra candles mean. But everything they do is backwards, man. They don't abide in the Sabbath as being a new moon, so they hold it on every Friday, which is, that's their 7 days. That's not according to scripture. Everything, like they don't abide in the Holy Bible. They don't abide in scriptures. Only when they want to impose war on people, they'll start quoting the Bible. When they want to, pretty much acquire and steal more land. But these people, what they represent and what they study is the Babylonian Talmud. So, started with Amalek, which is the head of the nations, you know what I'm saying, which is head of the nation of Esau. These are the most wickedest people out here that try to portray themselves as being humble, fair, and righteous, where in reality they're the most violent and vicious, inhumane, and wickedly perverse people on the planet. When you start going into that Talmud, the things that's in it, man, is just wicked, man. They talk about how, you know what I'm saying, they can have sex with babies. You know what I'm saying? It goes into a whole array of, you know what I'm saying? I really don't want to go into it. Like, because it's just that wicked, man. You gotta have the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai protecting you when you reading that nonsense. Is really wicked. They give they when they do the circumcisions, their priests will bite the foreskin off the baby. So basically they 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 they, they put their mouth on the baby's penis. It's wild what they believe and what they go into and what the things that they do. There's nothing righteous about none of that shit. They're corrupt in all their dealings, whether it's business or politics. These people are wicked and corrupt. If you go into how M. Shel Bauer, who changed his name to Rothschild, if you look at how they went about starting these banking this banking system and what they did to maintain their wealth, there's nothing righteous about it. Implementing high interest rates, they fund both sides of wars so they can keep their money going in. So it doesn't matter who wins the war, they win overall. They sway the outcomes of the stock markets. You know, these people are not the people of the Bible as far as like the promise. They are Esau, Edom, the red man. Red like a hairy garment. These are those people. They're imposters, man. They are imposters who hijacked the land of Israel, home to the true children of the Bible, home to the 12 tribes of Israel. And they turned it into a filthy backyard of the wickedest place on the planet, which is Babylon the Great. They promote witchcraft, sodomy, adultery, spiritually and carnally, because they don't believe in the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. They believe on a demon called Yahweh. They believe in a demon called JC. These are pagan idols. They worship all sorts of pagan idols, going back to Zeus, going back to the Babylonian pagans, the Anunnaki, all that nonsense. They take part in. They're wicked elite bankers, banking families. They control and manipulate the world. They do that through their media. They do that through finance. They do it through religion outlets. And they use the low level Edomite, which they call the Goyim. They call everybody who's not quote unquote of Israel. They call them the Goyim. So you could look that word up. So when you're looking up, like you can go into it, look up the word Goyim. But when you look it up, it tells you that is in its basic form is people that are non-Hebrews, non-Hebrew speaking people of other nations. But when they use it, you could use it in a derogatory term. Pretty much they in their wicked minds, the Goyim is pretty much free labor. Anything that people that they deem lower, your working class people, they treat them as such. They try to cheat them out of their wages and all these other things. But they pretty much look at the Goyim as scum of the earth. And they use low-level Edomites as the pawn, you know what I'm saying, to push their wicked agendas. By implementing wars, they implement diseases on the people across the world. They study and create these diseases, you know what I'm saying? So these are not the people of promise. These are not the children of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. These people are wicked. They create famines while all the while you have these wicked elites. They hide in the shadows. Your tax-paying money, it goes to them. They eat off your tax money. We the ones that fund, like, your working class citizens. We the ones that fund their high price living. Once again, these are not the children of the Bible. These are not the children of promise. This is Habakkuk 2, verses 8 and 9. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people have spoiled thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all the dwelling therein, and all that dwell, Salakia, all that dwell therein. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. These people do all these wicked ass things to try to keep themselves above from impending destruction that they plan, the impending things that they, all the violence impending violence that they portray and issue upon people on the earth through their wars, through their manipulation of stock markets and bank notes and things of that nature. The way they conduct their business, they try to set themselves on high by doing such. So they won't send their children out to war, but they'll send yours out there to come back with PTSD and different ailments, maimed. Some don't even come back from these wars, but they won't put their children in these wars. So when you look at it, when you go back to there's a movie called the House of Rothschild. If you look at that movie, you'll see how they manipulated the banks into having high interest rates and funding both sides of the war, funding both sides of wars. I believe is might have been the French Revolution in that war that they manipulated, and they pretty much figured out if they fund both sides, it doesn't matter who wins, they always come out on top. And then if you speak against them, they'll pretty much shut you down, and if you continue to resist, they'll pretty much just off you. So they have a violent way of dealing with people, dealing with nations, and they're all crooked and corrupt. This is Habakkuk 2, verses 12 and 13. Woe to him that buildeth a house with blood, and establish a city by iniquity. Behold, it is not of Yahweh of hosts, that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall worry themselves for very vanity. Wherever they go, they steal, rape, rob, and murder to acquire land, to acquire wealth. If you look at how they did the northern tribes when they came over here. They pretty much just brutally beat them, brutally destroyed them, and took them out of their land and set them in a little portion of land. Quote unquote gave them tax-free land, but these people are pretty much done as far as their culture, their mentalities, how they function. They pretty much destroyed them. Look what they did in the transatlantic slave trade when they pulled the Southern Kingdom out of the land and put them on slave ships and brought them over to the Americas, or brought them over here to Babylon the Great. They pretty much destroyed them. They stripped them of their heritage, their culture, their language, and made them dependent on them. That's how you keep a people in a perpetual state of unawareness. You keep them in a perpetual state of disarray, and they're dependent on you. So now you can manipulate them in any fashion that you want. And you see it today. And I'm going to end it with Numbers 24 and 20. I'm going to read that again, this time in the G&T. Then in his vision, Balaam saw the Amalekites and uttered this prophecy. Amalek was the most powerful nation of all, but at the end, it will perish forever. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to destroy Babylon the Great, and he's going to destroy Esau, Edom, starting with the head, Amalek, your top banking families. They're gonna go into captivity. He who leaveth in captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword shall die by the sword, shall be killed with the sword. They're gonna be put into captivity. And those that buck up, you gonna get your ass whooped, and you're gonna do as you told, according to scripture, according to the power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. And then after 1,000 years, all the nations are gonna see Esau, Edom taken out of here. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is gonna rid the world of these people. So I hope this was edifying. Lord willing, I hope it was edifying. Call Allah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem, Rekahakradash, Abad Babal.